What's up everyone, it's Tim from TimPlaysAGame getting ready for the release of Splatoon 3 for the Nintendo Switch. Splatoon 3 is a third-person shooter with single player and online modes that center around turf wars where two teams of 4 players battle each other to see who can ink the most turf. If you haven't played either of the 2 Splatoon games yet, you might be asking yourself a lot of questions like, what's with the squids? Why are they shooting ink at each other? Where are the humans? Didn't this game used to involve rabbits? Who is this? What is that? What the heck is going on here? Allow this video to be the answer to those questions and more as we look at the history of Splatoon in about 8 minutes. Also, the rabbit thing was just an early concept. The story begins 12,000 years prior to the game Splatoon. Humanity, all flora, and all fauna are wiped out due to flooding sea levels drowning out much of the Earth's land. Before that though, a professor creates a cryogenic capsule that can freeze its contents for thousands of years. Rather than preserve any actual humans, he decides to freeze a cat named Judd, a printer, and a telephone containing this thing, but more on that later. For the next 10,000 years, there was no activity of sentient life. Fast forward to 2,000 years prior to Splatoon. Global water levels recede, forcing many marine creatures on what used to be Earth's dry land to evolve and become more intelligent. Some of these creatures also developed a humanoid structure. For example, squids evolved into inklings, while octopi evolved into octarians and octolings. This is the beginning of the mollusk era. During this time, the inklings advance their technological skills and begin to use zapfish as a prized power source. Judd is also released from his capsule and becomes the judge of the earliest known turf wars, a competitive sport where 2 teams of 4 inklings must ink the most turf to win. Skip ahead to 100 years prior to Splatoon. Inkopolis and Calamari County are founded. Captain Cuttlefish and DJ Octavio become the respective leaders of the inklings and the octarians. Sea levels rise again, forcing the inklings and octarians to fight over the remaining dry land. This is the beginning of the Great Turf War. Around this time, the Octarians build the Great Octo Weapons, while Captain Cuttlefish forms the Squidbeak Splatoon to fend off the Octarians. The Octarians were victorious through the course of the Great Turf War, aided by their Great Octo Weapons. However, a plug being pulled off deactivated their weaponry, allowing their Inkling enemies to prevail and defeat them. The Octarians were later forced into hiding in Octo Valley, where they built and lived in underground domes. Inkling culture flourishes and turf wars become a popular competitive sport instead of a serious conflict, as they used to be 2,000 years ago. DJ Octavio would eventually begin his career as a disc jockey, while the Octarians' underground domes showed signs of collapsing and begin to lose power for the next 30 years. Sometime before the events of the game Splatoon, Inkopolis hosts its first annual youth folk singing contest where 2 Inkling cousins, Marie and Callie, win the contest and their career and fame as singers begin. Eventually the 2 begin their career as announcers for Splatfest and other events in Inkopolis Plaza as the Squid Sisters. During the events of Splatoon, the Octarians steal the Great Zapfish and other Zapfish from Inkopolis to power their homes and the Great Octo Weapons, preparing for a new war against Inkopolis. A lone squid kid, later dubbed Agent 3, enters Inkopolis and joins Captain Cuttlefish's new Squidbeak Splatoon with Marie and Callie, who are Agents 1 and 2 respectively, as undercover agents who attempt to rescue Zapfish from the Octarians' control. Agent 3 launches several attacks on Octo Valley to save the Zapfish and destroy the Great Octo Weapons in the process. However, during the battle, Captain Cuttlefish is abducted and brought to DJ Octavio's lair. Agent 3 fights and defeats DJ Octavio with the Squid Sisters' help. The team bring the Great Zapfish and Captain Cuttlefish back to Inkopolis, restoring its power supply, while DJ Octavio is imprisoned in a snow globe. There's a 2-year lull between the events of Splatoon and Splatoon 2. During this time, Grisco Industries is founded to farm the golden eggs of the salmonids as they migrate to the irradiated waters outside Inkopolis. This salmon run occurs every 70 years, where their migration usually results in violence and destruction. Also, a young Octoling named Marina defects from the Octarian army to become a citizen of Inkopolis. With her friend Pearl, they start their own group, Off the Hook. Now we're getting into Splatoon 2. Marie wins the final Splatfest that she and her cousin hosted. No Splatfests occur for a while until the arrival of the new band Off the Hook. Inkopolis Square becomes the new hub for turf wars, and Inkopolis News Studio has relocated to one of its buildings. Callie and Marie spend more time apart in variety shows and music shows respectively. After Marie goes to Calamari County to visit her parents, she returns to Inkopolis to find that Callie has gone missing. Fearing the worst, she searches for Callie in Octo Valley, finds that Captain Cuttlefish's shack has been abandoned, and the snow globe containing DJ Octavio has been broken. DJ Octavio later gathers the defeated Octarians and establishes their new base at Octo Canyon. The Great Zapfish is stolen again, plunging Inkopolis residents into unease. Marie goes to Inkopolis Square to seek a recruit to investigate the Octarians and find Callie. With the Squid Sisters being absent, Off the Hook enters and takes their place as musicians and hosts of Inkopolis News. They also host the first Splatfests since the Squid Sisters' absence. A certain Inkling follows Marie to Octo Canyon, where she appoints them as Agent 4. Together, they begin to recover young Zapfish from the resurgent Octarians. Sometime during their recovery efforts, Agent 4 and Marie receive a comlink with a voice that sounds suspiciously like Callie. Agent 4 and Marie stumble into Callie and DJ Octavio's stage, where they find that she has been brainwashed under DJ Octavio's control. After freeing her from her brainwashing, she and Callie reunite and help Agent 4 defeat DJ Octavio. The Great Zapfish is placed once again within Inkopolis, while DJ Octavio is imprisoned in a new snow globe in Octo Canyon. While all this is happening in Splatoon 2, Agent 3 faces off against one last Octoling, who would later be known as number 10,008 or Agent 8, who had a change of heart after hearing the Calamari Incantation, a famous hit single from the Squid Sisters. The two battled until an unknown assailant captured them and dragged them into the deep sea metro. Agent 8 then loses their memories and works alongside Captain Cuttlefish to find Agent 3 and get back to the surface. Here they meet a telephone, the same telephone that was cryogenically frozen 12,000 years ago. Agent 8 then must complete a series of tasks to collect 4 Thangs to get to the Promised Land, where Pearl and Marina offer their support from the sidelines. Once Agent 8 collects all of the 4 Thangs, the telephone assembles the machine that is supposed to bring Captain Cuttlefish and Agent 8 back to the surface. This soon proves to be a trap, as the machine itself is revealed to be a blender intended to turn them both into raw material for the sanitized Octarians. Agent 3 manages to break them out, but at the cost of getting knocked unconscious for a good majority of the final battle. Agent 8 later fights a partially sanitized Agent 3 and eventually manages to get to the surface to stop the telephone's evil plans. The telephone then reveals himself as Commander Tartar, a sentient 8-eye created by a professor as the last-ditch effort to aid development of the next dominant species. Tartar then strayed from his programming, as he was disgusted by the trivial nature of the Inklings and Octarians. He then sought out to create his own master race of sanitized Octarians. After Agent 8 uses Marina's hyperbombs and covers the humanoid contraption of Tartar's completely with ink, Pearl uses her Princess Cannon to finish the job, marking another win for the Squidbeak Splatoon. Agent 8 joins Pearl and Marina on their way back to Inkopolis Square. Agent 3 goes out on patrol, and Captain Cuttlefish returns to the Deep Sea Metro to check in on the denizens of the deep for just a little longer. Octolings are welcomed into the Inkling culture and even compete in friendly competitive turf wars. The events of Splatoon 2 conclude with the final Splatfest, Chaos vs. Order, where the winner would dictate the future path for Inkopolis, as well as Inklings and Octolings. Team Chaos was led by Pearl, who wanted a future where Inklings and Octolings were free to choose their future, though future events would remain unpredictable. Team Order was led by Marina, who desired control over the events of the future, but at the cost of freedom. Team Chaos won a decisive victory, leading to a chaotic, uncertain future. And this leads to Splatoon 3. What will happen next? What impact does Chaos have on the future? Will DJ Octavio break out of the snow globe again? What new weapons will we be getting? Why is this Octoling fuzzy? What happened to Marine Callie? Will we see Pearl and Marina again? And just who the heck are they? Hopefully these questions will be answered when Splatoon 3 comes out on September 9th, 2022. For now, this is Tim from TimPlaysAGame signing off, and have a good night, guys.